We sincerely apologize for delaying the news, but thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Main News. The headlines. Women celebrated worldwide. OXCARTS servicing as ambulances in Chief SHAKUMBILA'S chiefdom. LUNDAZI residents continue to lament over collapsed bridge amid flashing out of money by suspected PF cadres. In international news, huge blasts in Equatorial Guinea's BATA kill many and wound hundreds. And in sports news, Zambia under-17 hit the pitch in Morocco ahead of Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Join me with the news in details after this commercial.
The Bible says, I knew you before I placed you in your mother's womb. Apples and bananas.
Work and wait, and this what you've been praying for.
And now the main news in detail. Some Choma residents in Southern Province have bemoaned the poor state of roads in the district. Kelvin Nyambe, a motorist, complains that most roads are in the central business districts are in a deplorable state. Mr. Nyambe wonders why Choma roads have been left in that state for many years despite several assurances from the central government through the local authority that they will be worked on. He has cited the hospital road to be among the most damaged, calling it a death trap, thereby calling for an urgent road repair to it, especially that it leads to a healthy institution. Meanwhile, Patriotic Front PF member of Central Committee Kebi Mbewe says his government will engage Choma Municipal Council over the residents' complaints. More in the following report.
As a citizen of this town, I think I can state that I think the government has ignored us, and I know that these roads are not good. When you look at the roads that are going from the main road to the hospital, it is a very bad road. It's a death trap actually. Even as you go to the hospital, you risk being in an accident when you are going to the hospital. When you go in the compounds around, you go to Champande there, you see the roads outside Macha Road, Chanamari, you find that those roads are very, very bad. So as a result of that, I think my appeal as a citizen to the government is that the government should enhance the funding when it comes to the local roads.
The hospital road, we will engage the council. I think the council, they should have what it takes to redo that road. They have the grader now. I think we can ask the council to work on the road, because of course the road is not looking good, but I think the council has the capacity to grade the road because they have all the machinery. Because our concern is that our patients that are coming in different conditions.
The roads in Choma are actually in a very, very bad state right now as we speak. All along, roads actually in Choma have always been in a bad state, but we won't deny the fact that the rains have also contributed in worsening the states of the roads as we speak. We have more potholes this time around. Most roads are impassable due to the same potholes, and of course to some of us that frequently use the roads in terms of driving, it's actually affecting us in terms that our vehicles, they are getting damaged. So we can only appeal to the government to actually work on the roads, because it's actually for the good of everyone, because almost everybody uses the road.
And due to lack of transport to service some parts of Chief SHAKUMBILA'S chiefdom in Central Province, the residents have resorted to using OXCARTS and motorbikes as ambulances. Transporters are said to be refusing to service the area due to bad roads. The residents have since complained to Camnet TV News of being neglected.
Transport is important because it enables communication, trade and other forms of exchange between people that in turn creates civilizations. Transport plays a significant part in economic growth and globalization. In Zambia, the public transport sector plays a cardinal role in helping people move from one destination to the other in a cost-efficient manner. Sadly, this is not the case for the people of SHAKUMBILA chiefdom in Mumbwa district who feel left behind. Sometimes people depend on OXCARTS as ambulances to transport patients to a nearest health center. The Lidwe area is endowed with gold, but the state of roads leaves much to be desired and there are no public service vehicles commuting the area. Hence, people are compelled to walk long distances to access social amenities. The people have been using motorbikes as a mode of transportation due to the poor state of the roads, which have remained like that for a long time, despite the area hosting mining companies. The residents are concerned that they have limited options, hence they are compelled to pay 30 to 60 kwacha to access motorbikes.
Transport yochoka pano parili good. Niyo vutako chifukwa ni 4 kilometers kuchoka pano pamene lili kufika patamaki. Then hapa ni pasanga. Timaenda na mendo kuenda ku road. Pena ngoyo denga timwa chansi ngako ni 20 kwacha akahonda kuyenda maenga tikulibe ni kuenda na mendo. So transport kuno niyo vuta. Kulibe ka basi kamene kama bwera teolo kama transport kulibe. So that's why kumamveka na bakapondo so tumayopo olo kuyenda. So bangatitandizireko ukafika pa clinic in 5 kilometers kwenda ku road. So lo muntu adwala ngati kulibe onda azifera.
And a bike rider also shared his perspective.
Choka pano kwenda pa jinali tumashita 30 kwacha mtino. Then obwera futi 30 kwacha. Malodi kaili anaipa anapa ya malodi wa matipa newa matenga ko metijo. So noenda ukufuti kumatala tumachama 60 kwacha. Kwenda 60 kwacha kwenda 60 kwacha.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Zambian women have joined the rest of other women across the world in celebrating International Women's Day. The global theme for this year's commemoration is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. In Zambia, President Edgar Lungu led the celebration. President Edgar Lungu, in addressing the women, says he is happy with the achievement women have made in various sectors of the country. And non-governmental organization Coordinating Council NGOCC chairperson Mary Mulenga says women representation in strategic leadership positions have remained low 56 years after independence.
Zambia has joined the rest of the world in commemorating the International Women's Day under the theme Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in the COVID-19 World. Women representation had over the years suffered critiques due to various myths that surround women being in leadership position. However, Zambia has over the years seen various women rise from the closet to take up various leadership positions. And speaking during a virtual address at the Women's Day celebration held at Molongoshi International Conference Center, President Lungu has praised Zambian women for the achievement they have made in various sectors of the economy.
That woman in Mandevu Township, keeping orphaned children and making ends meet through selling groundnuts and maize cobs, my heart goes out to you. I applaud your spirit. Women are the change agents orienting other women and girls to aim high, to dream and aspire for leadership positions, to know that they are part of the development process, able to take up any vocation, political and profession they so desire without feeling intimidated. I now challenge the men to join forces with the women who have been in the forefront of ensuring that the rights, capabilities, and responsibilities of all the family members are respected and reinforced. Let us all play a role in instilling good behavior in our children for them to grow into being responsible adults in the future.
And the non-government organization coordinating council NGOCC chairperson Mary Mulenga says there is need for more women to take up leadership position in the forthcoming August election, as there still remains a gap in the participation of women in leadership.
As NGOCC and indeed the women's movement in Zambia, we have always complained about the low levels of women's participation in leadership, especially in politics. Currently, according to the National Assembly statistics, Zambia only has 26 female members of parliament, representing only 16%. 126 female councillors, which is a paltry 8%. 2 female mayors, 12%. And 16 female council chairpersons, representing 14%. These numbers are atrociously low and should not be a reflection of female representation in decision-making 56 years after independence.
And the United Nations coordinator, Dr. Kumba Magario, says COVID-19 has eliminated the depth and extent of gender inequality that exists between boys and girls.
Women and girls' rights remain under pressure. We will continue to pursue a feminist foreign policy with full force throughout the world. Gender equality is a core value of EU and universally recognized human right, as well as imperative to well-being, economic growth, prosperity, good governance, peace, and...
The COVID-19 pandemic has illuminated the depth and extent of the gender inequalities that exist between men and women, boys and girls. The cry for a more equal future could not be any louder than it is now. Your Excellency.
Women play a very important role in the social, economical, and cultural progress of our society. Supporting and protecting women remains key at fighting poverty in the country, as women are the most affected by poverty. Prudence Jota reported for Camnet TV News.
And various civil society organizations have issued comforting messages on various sectors of the economy to reflect Monday's International Women's Day. Zambia Land Alliance Executive Director Patrick Msole has encouraged women to continue working hard even in the midst of the impact of COVID-19. Habitats for Humanity Zambia has called on government to continue providing an enabling environment that elevates the status of women who are the proverbial homemakers. And Transparency International Zambia TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says his institution believes that women are powerful agents of change both in the fight against corruption and the promotion of good governance, hence the need to involve them in the formulation of national laws.
Zambia have distinguished themselves as the bedrock of our society, and their pivotal role in bringing about order and balance to society is something that ought to be celebrated on a daily basis. As TIZ, we will continue to support women in the fight against corruption, as well as the promotion of good governance in Zambia, and we will do this by harnessing their important perspectives, knowledge, as well as leadership. We therefore make a clarion call to every Zambian that has an interest in seeing the country benefiting from the enormous contributions that women make to be part of efforts that are aimed at creating a conducive environment that will enable women to thrive even more than they are doing right now. We also urge the Zambian government to scale up its efforts that are aimed at reducing women's vulnerabilities in all spheres of Zambian society, including the political landscape. In that regard, we further urge political parties to create conducive platforms in their internal processes that will allow women fair opportunities to take part in the forthcoming general elections in August. Last but by no means least, we would like as TIZ to state that women are powerful agents of change, both in the fight against corruption as well as the promotion of good governance.
Meanwhile, the Disability Rights Watch is saddened to note that women with disabilities in Zambia continue to face multiple and widespread discrimination in all spheres of life. Organization coordinator Bruce Choma says there is need for government to address the systematic exclusion of women with disability in national development. Mr. Choma has since challenged government and other stakeholders to use the Women's Day celebration to critically introspect on the welfare of physically challenged persons. According to him, marginalized groups of women, such as women with disabilities, mothers of children with disabilities, and women with albinism, are yet to find their space in society.
The Disability Rights Watch wishes to express concern with the fact that women with disabilities are being excluded and discriminated against in various aspects of society in Zambia today. As we observe Women's Day today, we wish to remember the fact that women with disabilities face multiple discrimination and that they are also in a vulnerable category of women. And these include also women with albinism, as well as women who have got children with disabilities who require more intensive support from everyone, including the government. We wish to appeal to the Zambian government to prioritize the socio-economic empowerment of women with disabilities to ensure that they can take their space in the country's development process. In that vein, we also wish to indicate that as Zambia develops its national development plan, we should develop specific indicators that speak to the needs of women with disabilities. We also wish to appeal to political parties getting into this year's election to adopt women with disabilities so we can include them in the country's political life and protect their rights to political participation and have their voices heard at every level of decision making.
In other news, Japan's Minister of Justice Yoko Kamikawa has announced that her country has offered to help Zambia strengthen its crime prevention and criminal justice system. Ms. Kamikawa disclosed to Mr. Kampyongo, who is in Kyoto, Japan for the 14th United Nations Congress on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, that Zambia remains a strategic partner in many areas, including prevention of worldwide crime. The Japanese minister is hopeful that the Kyoto Declaration on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice will help the two countries engage in justice diplomacy, where the rule of law will be of paramount importance. And Minister of Home Affairs Stephen Kampyongo says an increase in collaboration between Zambia and Japan will help the two countries and the world fight over changing criminalities, especially in cyberspace. Meanwhile, speaking after attending Side Congress Committee, Inspector General of Police Kakuma Kanganja disclosed that the police has put in place mechanisms that will ensure non-selective application of the law and a safe environment before, during, and after 2021 general elections.
We also have a topic on international cooperation and technical assistance to prevent and address all forms of crime. That is terrorism in all its forms and manifestation, and the new emerging forms of crime. This is where we are looking at the cyber crime. The current crime trends, recent developments, and emerging solutions, in particular, new technologies as means for and tools against crime.
Police in Mongo district of Western Province have arrested a female juvenile aged 17 years of Lufalo in Chisonga area in connection with child stealing. The stolen baby boy has since been recovered from her. The suspect was arrested Monday morning after a tip-off from members of the public. Zambia police spokesperson Esther Katongo says the baby has been taken back to the hospital by its mother. Ms. Katongo says the suspect, who is in police custody, has been charged with the offense of child stealing. An 18-year-old girl of Lusaka's Kanyama compound, Angela Mwana, who was shot by a stray bullet during a joint security operation during the gassing period in February 2020, is steadily recovering from her wounds. The bullet broke Angela's hip bone and confined her to her bed as she could not walk. However, after over a year, the girl's health is beginning to take shape after help from various well-wishers towards her medication, as her family could not afford the huge medical bills they were getting at the time.
14 months after being hit by a stray bullet, Angela Mwana has received the medical help she needed to get her to walk again. Angela was in February of 2020 shot by a stray bullet following a joint operation between the Zambian police and the Zambian army in Chibolya compound. The bullet left her with a broken hip bone, forcing her to be groomed to her bed. The Camnet TV crew followed up the matter in December of 2020 and aired a story where Angela was seeking help from all well-wishers because the people responsible for her condition have not been able to render the family any help. The call, however, has yielded positive results as the family has been able to receive the financial support to take their daughter to the hospital to receive the medical attention she needs.
Kuti naungazikomo vantu vamevatandizira mulungu avachingirize avadarise paiponse pamevasevenza bizinesi yavo ikazienda bwino mulungu avachingirize avasogorere sikomo naungasikomo mulungu avachingirize.
And the brother, Agai Mwana, a third-year student at the University of Zambia who could not write his examination, has been able to write the failed examination, all because well-wishers were able to come on board.
I'm very grateful for the help which was rendered unto us, because without your help I could not have managed to write my exams. This year I'm in 4th year. I'll be graduating very soon. Because of your help, may God richly bless you.
And both the mother and father have thanked all well-wishers who came through to help the family. Angela's future has received light as she will be able to walk following a successful operation where intramedullary rods have been inserted in her hip bone to restore her leg. In total, a sum of 10,952 kwacha was raised, which has been used for her medical expenses, and part of the money will be used to pay for her school fees once she begins to walk again. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
You're watching Camnet TV's main news. For now, we take our first set of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You've heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vita-Rich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only Cowbell with VitaRich puts you on the fast track.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the main news. The residents of LUNDAZI district in the Eastern Province have continued to lament over the collapsed bridge, which has remained unattended to for over a year now. The residents have wondered how huge sums of money is finding itself in the hands of political cadres, while money for development cannot be found. The residents have also observed with interest how government officials are living lavish lives while works they were voted for has not been attended to. The LUNDAZI bridge was washed away by heavy rains in February 2020, but up to now the bridge hasn't been worked on. On the 15th of February 2021, Housing and Infrastructure Minister Vincent Mwale promised the people of LUNDAZI that the bridge would be worked on soonest.
Because of bridge. That bridge is very dangerous. It's not fit for type of the transport that we use in LUNDAZI. Then the bridge itself, that narrow crossing point, is not safe anymore. This is rainy season, vegetation has grown around that area. People's lives are threatened. So we just want to appeal the government once again to ensure that the bridge is done. It's evident now we are seeing a lot of money being given out to individuals, to communities, to groups by government leaders. So I think this is a signal that government has the money. So if that money, part of it can be put together, just put a temporary bridge at LUNDAZI bridge, so that us as a community of LUNDAZI, we also once again back to the normal. They we used to operate way back. Look what the businesses are affected. Some of the commodities are not coming here. Chama, for instance, most of the buses have stopped going to Chama because of the deplorable state of the road. So we just want to appeal the government. This bridge has been overdue. Let the government do its due diligence. So I'm appealing through the district leadership. With the monies that are coming to the district that is being given, let part of it be reserved for the construction of the bridge.
United Party for National Development UPND Vice President Mtalena Lumango says Justice Minister Given Lumenda must avoid threatening the opposition who question the eligibility of President Edgar Lungu. Ms. Nalumango says it leaves much to be desired to hear a person holding a high government position such as Mr. Lumenda to stand in Parliament and say that everyone trying to petition President Edgar Lungu's eligibility is threatening Zambia's peace. She explains that the party is in pain to understand how the petitioning of President Edgar Lungu's eligibility to contest this year's presidential election can cause a security breach or compromise Zambia's peace. Ms. Nalumango further explains that Mr. Lumenda should understand that those intending to petition his eligibility have solid arguments are on the side of the law. She explains that the law is very clear that anyone who has held office twice is not eligible for another term of office. While in Parliament, Mr. Lumenda issued a statement to the effect that petitioning President Edgar Lungu's candidature may affect the country's peace.
And it will say, because some people have said they have already prepared, the petition, in case Lungu goes ahead, and you call that an illegality, we all prepare. If he doesn't go in for nomination, then they won't take it. But if he goes in for nomination against the Constitution, they have a right to petition. So how do you call people's rights a danger to peace? You are the danger to peace, Patriotic Front. You are the danger to peace. So allow the Zambians to live within the law. Because if you continue to infringe on their rights, on their freedom, then you are declaring this state a broken, failed state. And you are saying you are the law in yourself. PF, you are not the law. That is why you bring out things like judges will be bought. You have declared the judiciary. You have declared judges corrupt. You are the appointing authority. Come on, what a statement from Patriotic Front.
Opposition United Prosperous and Peaceful Party UPPZ President Charles Banda is confident of winning the 2021 general elections. Briefing the media after holding a party convention on Sunday, Mr. Chanda says Zambians have now come to accept that he is the only man who can transform their lives for the better. Mr. Chanda explains that the party convention was attended by 600 people from all the 10 provinces, explaining that at presidential level, he pulled 510 votes while his closest rival pulled 90 votes. Mr. Chanda says the party will now focus on mobilization ahead of the crucial elections on the 12th of August 2021. Meanwhile, Mr. Chanda says the country's economic situation is an intensive care unit needing urgent intervention, accusing the governing party of ruining the economy.
Strategy and our approach is a little bit different from our friends and colleagues that are also in the opposition. Many of us know that the country is in an ICU. It's an intensive care and it needs attention. Things have gone beyond manageable levels. And so we do not have time to fight our friends who are in the ruling for bringing the economy to where it is. We have no time to victimize them. Our main concentration and our campaign message is to inform the Zambians what we are going to do to escape death in the ICU. So we are not going to be involved in politics of attacking. Why should we attack the president? Because already the situation is bad. We are saying the Patriotic Front government, led government, they've tried their best. They've put in everything. But unfortunately, their best has also made things worse. So we want to see how we can salvage, whatever we can salvage from this fire, infernal that has come upon the nation. That's what we want to do. So our focus is our manifesto. And I need to say this, we have the best manifesto among all the political parties. We have a manifesto that deals with the rural developmental agenda. We have a manifesto dealing with urban renewal program. We are the only political party that has championed the need for Zambians to have land.
Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General Mumbi Piri has called for unity of purpose among the women in the church and the country at large. Speaking when she attended a Women's Day Mass at St. Maurice Parish in Garden House area, Ms. Piri says women play an important role in uniting the country, hence calling on them to kneel and pray for the country. She notes that despite the country recording high cases of divorce, women are still home builders and equal partners to national development. She says Women's Day should be a reminder of the contribution women have made in all spheres of life and a reaffirmation of hard work by the women folk in the country.
Deputy Secretary General Shakwata na degree, and I don't believe your leadership is measured to how many education you have. Wisdom comes from God. So as women council,